Y'all really let the guy that does all this talking get his own podcast? Get it together, man. Hello. What's going on, family? How y'all feeling today, man? How y'all doing? Hope you guys are being blessed. I hope that, I pray that you guys are continuing to grow, chase after your goals, being positive and being great human beings. As the season changes, continues to change from kind of cool to cold. This is my least favorite time of the year. Aside from like Thanksgiving and Christmas, these are, great times to be around the people that you care about. But the weather, not my favorite. Not my favorite. The season changed from hot to cold. Yeah, no, not my cup of tea. But there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Seasons are going to change unless you want to move somewhere, down south like Florida where it barely gets cold. You want to move somewhere, but seasons change. You can't make the seasons stay the same. And just like people, you like the segue that I just, that was a segue into what I want to talk about. I'm clever. I'm sly like a fox. No, I'm joking. But that was a segue, the transition of what I want to talk about. People change. You never used to act this way. This is not the real you. You've changed. All right. This is a difficult conversation for some people. This was a difficult conversation and realization that I had to come to in life. People do not change. People don't change. People's true colors finally come out. People's true colors finally come out. Deep down inside, there are triggers and there are, ways for people to come out as their true selves. And sometimes it takes a certain environment and a certain crowd and a certain period and or event in their lives for their true selves to come out. So that's why I say people do not change. And sometimes, when you love somebody, whether it's a relationship or a friendship, when you are, involved with someone and with whatever ordeal it is, sometimes we're a little naive, or we just don't pay attention. Or we can be in denial in a way too, but more so, it's just we're naive and we don't pay attention, and we overlook certain things, especially at younger ages. As teenagers or in your early to mid 20s, you don't pay attention too much to certain traits, and you don't think deeply about what your friends or partner is saying in a conversation about people or things and the emotions that they have towards you. You don't notice their actions and how they deal with people. You don't notice or pay attention to how they can talk about someone to you, and then you and that person may run into that same person that was being talked about, and it's all good vibes and hello and smiles and laughs. We don't pay attention to those things earlier on in life at younger ages. As we get older, we start paying attention to people, and we start looking at our relationships under a magnifying glass, because for one, we are getting older. We are reaching new heights. It's like career wise, you start having, you start like starting families, you start, renting, buying a house or an apartment, all there's so much, or moving, and you start realizing the type of company that you keep, and you start to, well, I should say, you start, observing more in greater detail about the company that you are keeping around you, your circle, the things that they say and that they talk about, even what they post on social media and how they act on social media, as opposed to when they're in private with you or with a group of people, how they are towards the public, in grocery stores or at a restaurant, how they treat the waiter and the waitress and the hostess and the servers. And we start looking at that more. I had a friend that was very close to me in high school. We were buddies, and we would text all the time. We would, talk on the phone, and it was always great times when we had the same classes together, and it was just great. And that's my friend. We're friends. We do what friends do. We laugh, we joke, and we talk to one another. And sometimes things happen that we don't notice, or that we do notice, and we kind of just let it fall at the wayside. And as I got older, as I began to date, this friend was along with me still. That was my friend. And the relationship currently that I'm in now, as my wife now, but that relationship was new, it was fresh. She was my girlfriend, and I still had the same friends, and we still hung out. I still try to talk with them as much, but I'm spending time with this new person in my life, and we are establishing a connection. We are finding out more about each other, and you know how it is in the beginning stages of a relationship. You just you get the butterflies. It's the lovey-dovey it's a lovey-dovey stage, and nothing they can do can really make you mad. It can't make you upset, can't bother you. But anyways, then there's times where you start arguing, you start having disagreements, and things are said, and you start seeing and hearing things that you are not prepared for. And you want to have friends that, and you go through things that you're not prepared for. And you want to have friends that are there for you to vent, for you to tell. Because, at a younger age, as soon as you are arguing with your partner, you want to go back to your friends and you want to say, man, guess what happened? Guess what they said? This is what they did, and this is how I feel. And you don't think about that you're putting your friends in your business. You're just thinking that these are my friends and that's what they are there for, which is true to an extent. But this one friend, I would tell him things that I would confide in him with, and he would run back and he would repeat these things from our private conversation. He will tell someone else, whether it's a mutual friend or it's one of his friends. And it doesn't matter, in my opinion, if it's a mutual friend or if it's someone I do not know. If, it's between us, and I shouldn't have to explain the fact that you shouldn't tell anyone this. Keep this between us. I shouldn't have to explain that. It should just be, that should be, set in stone. That should already be something that I wouldn't have to discuss with you. But anyways, and this would happen a lot. And like I said earlier on, at a younger age, 19, 20, I wouldn't pay. I would, it would be brought to my attention. I would see it, and I would just brush it off. Oh, it's just my friend. Oh, it's just my friend. That's just, that's nothing. It's nothing. And then it became to a point where I started saying to myself, like, as I got older, and we started distancing ourselves, or I started to distance myself from him. Other people would ask me about our friendship, and I would say, no, he changed. He's not the same person that he once was. No, he never changed. He just continued to further be that person that he already was. I didn't notice that in school he would talk about certain people and then go hang around them. I didn't notice that he would do certain things to sabotage someone. Like, I wouldn't notice it, but I wouldn't understand. I wouldn't, take account for it, and thinking that this is just, playing out wrong, and it's not necessary, and it's, it's dirty, and it's not right. I because that's my friend. You don't think about those different things. And then, as I started to analyze, like some of the things that I mentioned, as I started to kind of look back and think about different things that I learned in my subconscious, I was like, you know what? He's always been this way. But I kind of overlooked it. I looked past it because that was my bro, So, therefore I just overlooked it. I don't like when people treat people a certain way that's unnecessary, that that makes zero sense, or it's just to make them look as an alpha, or treating someone away because they are upset at something totally outside of that person's outside of it's totally outside of what that person even had to do with. I'm not a fan of jealousy. I'm not a fan of people talking about or keeping up drama, or talking about other people's downfalls. I don't do well with people calling me up to talk about people, or texting me, or or sitting down and discussing other people. I'm not into that. But these are all of the things that I just looked back upon and said, man, he used to do this, he used to do that. And it never occurred to me that this is not the type of person that I want around me in my adulthood. And I never took into the fact that what's going on and what is being said is just, it's no need for it. And it's just wrong. And, so then that's why I had to retract my statement of saying this person has changed. No, this person has always been this way. It just got worse. But as I got older, I started paying attention more, and then it resonated in my mind that this has been going on. And now, as we are now adults, and now with, he doesn't have, kids or anything, but as me having a family, I had to come to the decision, do I want to continue to surround myself with this person that is still doing things that he did in school, and is not moving or leveling up mentally? Should I still surround myself around this person, and allow them in my space, and allow them, should I lower my vibrations to be around this person that is, like I said, still not growing, and allow that person around my family and in my household? Or should I just cut them off? Or should I just love them from a distance? And it got to the point where I can't love you from a distance. I can wish you well and pray that you find a way for, your growth, and that, one day that, you let go of these negative traits that you have amongst yourself, and wish you well, and just leave it at that. And like I said, I couldn't keep him as a friend. I couldn't keep him as someone that I can constantly talk to and hang around. We are all on different timelines. We all operate, well, some of us operate on higher vibrations, meaning that some of us are, we are driven by our logic. We are driven by our intellect and motivation and the things that we read and see, and we're driven by our accomplishments. Some of us are driven just by the need to be successful or the want to be successful, because we don't, we come from a background, we come from a family that didn't have much. And some of us come from a background that has that their family had wealth, they were well off, but we became complacent and we became a little lazy, and we didn't take, or we aren't taking advantage of the fruits of our parents' labor and trying to create something out of that for ourselves and making a way for ourselves. We just got set in everything being provided for us. But that does not translate into personal success. And we fit somewhere in those three different avenues that I mentioned. And as far as our goals, we should all have the same goals. We should all want the people in our circle to have the goal of being successful in something. Now, we all have different things that we are interested in. We all have different careers that we are interested in. But the goal is to thrive in whatever it is that we want to do and be successful and make something of it, so that we can, live our life to the fullest, impact who we can impact, and reach who we can reach, and pass that down to our kids. Or if we don't end up not having kids, we can influence the next person, and that it can just continue to impact the world and impact generations after us. If you are not on that type of vibration, if you are not on that frequency, that wavelength, that type of alignment, however you want to describe it, if you are not on that same mind frame and are not working towards that type of reward for yourself and for your purpose, whatever your purpose is, then we shouldn't have conversations. At a certain age, conversations should be different. Yeah, you want to still have friends and people that you laugh with. You want to have friends and people that you can go out with, and whether you go out and go bowling, or if you go out and grab drinks, whether you go out to a club, you want to have friends that you can unwind with. But you want to have friends that when it's time to, talk business, or if it's time to talk about how, you can continue to level up, whether they're giving you advice, or if you are doing something together like a business, having those type of talks. Or if you have a friend that's going to pull you aside and say, hey, you've been acting a little different lately, and I feel the vibe that something is off. Let's talk about it. And if the conversations aren't like that, if they are still childish, high school, teenager, drama-filled conversations, then, or just hating and being jealous of people, we can't talk. We can't hang. I can't have you around me. You have to have a certain work ethic. You have to have a certain ambition. You have to have a certain motivation and a sense of just a sense of wanting to be somebody, and not in a greedy, uh self-centered, egotistical way. It's just in a way of, I want to live fully in my purpose, and I want to create the best experience for myself and for the others around me, and impact whoever I impact. Hopefully it's people all over the world. And if I can change the world, then I've done my part. Whatever my purpose, whatever it came from, then I'm happy. And that's what I want to be surrounded by. I don't want to be surrounded by something lower than that. And you realize that the people that you want around you, if those aren't the people that are around you, you'll start noticing and you'll start remembering certain things from earlier stages in your friendship, or back in grade school days, that the signs were there. So you can't go to the person and say they changed, and you can't, because they never changed. You just didn't notice. You were just too young to notice. You were just naive to notice. You weren't mature enough to notice. And it's not a shot against you saying that, oh, you were just immature, but you were younger, and your mind, wasn't, you didn't have the mindset you have now. You hadn't gone through certain things that you have gone through now. And that was my thing. I was young. We were in school. I was, in sports, and in the gym working out, and just running around the school and being a kid. And as kids, we don't notice those things, and we don't care about those things. The only way that you kind of separate yourself from someone in school is if they directly do something to you. Like if you get into a physical fight, then you may not talk to that person ever again and befriend them ever again. Or if your friend tries to take someone that you had interested in, and they knew you were interested in that person, or if you were dating that person and they tried to do something underhanded towards you, so and you cut ties with them there. But other than things like that, we don't pay attention, and that's not our fault. It's just a testament to our youth. And but when we get older, we pay attention. And the most important thing is the realization of you have to have better around you in your life for you to continue to move forward, because having a great foundation, family, friends, having that is a blessing. And a lot of people don't have that type of foundation. So, the people that we surround ourselves with as we get older is very important. And they have to be people that are motivated. They have to be people that are confident. They have to be people that are striving towards something, not for just self-gain, not for just financial gain. Those are all things that come along with it. But they are doing it from the purity of their heart. They are doing it, just from them being, just strictly genuine and wanting to impact lives around them. Those are the people that you want around you, because it goes back to just wanting people to even be around people that motivate you. You're gonna wake up and have days where you're not motivated, and you're gonna have days where you just don't have that get up and go. And it's important to have people around you that keep you on that road, that keep you on that path. But they not only talk the talk, they walk the walk. And that's why you are motivated. That's why you are inspired by them. That's why their words mean value to you. And that goes to that term, iron sharpens iron, which means, it's a positive, I say phrase. And it means that, you're around people that are wise, that are encouraging, coaching, and challenging you. So you need people around that are challenging each other, that are questioning, encouraging, and coaching and each other. That's how you get better. That's a team. That's a foundation. That is a circle. That is the circle that you want around you. Now, no one is perfect. Your friends won't be perfect. You won't have people around you that are perfect. We will all slip and fall. We will all say the wrong things. We will all do the wrong things. We will mess up on our journeys. But it comes from a real accident. That comes from life. That comes from being distracted from different, just doing different things, and that comes from trial and error. But when someone's heart is genuine and someone's heart is pure, you can feel it, you can tell it, you can sense it. Those are the people that you need to be around. Those are the people that have been through things in their lives, maybe even before you met them, but they are now better people, and they are capable of holding themselves accountable. They are capable of being in a mature friendship, and they are capable of picking you up when you're down, and they can handle vice versa things when they are down and you are picking them up. They can handle being critical about their behavior or their work ethic or anything like that. So but yeah, people do not change. People just show you who they truly are, and they or who they truly have been this entire time. And I don't even know if they it's not that they show you, it's just that you come into that realization. So my question is, are there people around you that you have ignored for way too long, and you cannot ignore them any longer? And you can't ignore, the way they are, the way they've been acting any longer. And are you questioning their character? Are you asking yourself, or even asking them or telling them you've changed? If you have done that, or if you are feeling this way, go ahead and take a step back from the friendship, and not physically, but mentally take a step back and examine and think back for however long that you have been with this person, dating or being friends with this person. Go ahead and look back and just think of the times that you've been through. Think of the conversations that you've heard this person be involved in, with whether it's another person or it's with you. Just examine that friendship, reevaluate that friendship, because it could be time, but only you can tell. So come into that self-realization of that friendship, of that partnership, and make the decisions. Will it impact your life in a negative way if you continue to keep them by your side, or will it impact you in a positive way and the most best possible effective way if you let them go? And you can move on gracefully. You don't have to hate the person. You can move on gracefully. It is all up to you. The choice is yours. I'm going to head out of here. Reevaluate those friendships and those partnerships. Take a deep look. You got to self-examine it. Your life is depending on it. All right? God loves you. You love you. I love you. Get it together. Big Moss signing off. I will holler at you guys later. Be blessed. Be good. Peace.